Here are the only 7 muscles that you need to train to build an aesthetic physique. And let's get started. But before I get started, make sure to check out my aesthetic bodybuilders program. With the muscles that I'm going to be talking about in this video, I'll give you routines that directly incorporate training for aesthetics and training these 7 muscles. There's also in-depth exercise explanations to make sure that you get the most out of these exercises, and diet modules to make sure that your diet is right. And there's also routines whether you want to work at the gym or train at home. So click the top link in the description box down below. I think you'd be really interested in a program like that. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram at Craig Zerneth. Top link in the description box down below. And let's get started. Okay. The 7 aesthetic muscles are muscles that accentuate your V-taper. Understand that. So when you're building an aesthetic physique, you want to prioritize building the V-taper. And this is what girls really like. And they usually find this very attractive, unless you're like some weirdly masculine girl. But even those girls like guys with aesthetic physiques. And that's my point. So you're going to want to target muscles that accentuate the V-taper, that inverted Dorito shape. And let's get started. The first muscle that you're going to want to target is having a thick neck. Having a thick neck is incredibly attractive, and lots of Hollywood stars, fitness models, fuckboys, whatever you want to call it, fitness models, Hollywood stars, any attractive guy that you've seen from mainstream media, Brad Pitt, Channing Tatum, you name it, they all have thick necks. So we got to prioritize building this muscle, and not a lot of guys build necks. So by you training your neck and building a thick, attractive neck, you will have an added advantage over the rest of the guys that don't train them. And you train your neck by doing neck curls. Find an elevated surface. You can go in your bed, go put your head at the end of the bed and start raising your neck in a curling motion. Do this for 3 sets for 10 to 15 reps. The second muscle is your upper traps. You see this muscle here that's above my collarbone right here? That's your upper trap. And having an upper trap gives you that really masculine look, as you can see as I'm flexing right now. So you got to make sure to train your upper traps, and you can do this by dumbbell shoulder shrugs or barbell shoulder shrugs. Make sure the weight's relatively heavy. If you don't have any weights, just get a backpack, fill it with some heavy shit, and fill it up with water bottles, etc. Make sure it's pretty heavy, and make sure to do shrugs. A tip that I want to give you is you want to make sure you're going up and back at the same time and squeeze at the top. And when you're going down, make sure you fully extend going down on the downward motion. And if you're using a backpack, switch hands after you're done. The third muscle that we're going to want to target are your lateral delts. Your lateral delts are what accentuate your V-taper because it makes it more nice round, as you can see. My lateral delts. By building your lateral delt, it's going to accentuate your V-taper. So by training your lateral delt, it's going to accentuate your V-taper. And lateral delt just means side shoulder. So the way to target your side shoulder, your lateral delt is by doing lateral raises. But for this exercise, I want you to pick a relatively light weight. Pick the 2 kg dumbbells. Don't ego lift. We're going to do this for high reps. And this is the exercise that benefits most from high reps, low weight. If you have a backpack, make sure it's relatively light weight. Or you can just buy 2 kg dumbbells. They're really cheap. Anyways, when you're doing lateral raises, make sure you're standing up straight and you're squeezing your butt and you're only using your arms to raise your weight. Do this for 3 sets, 15 reps, and trust me, you are going to feel it. Also, make sure to pause at the top of the motion and slowly bring it down. Rinse, repeat, and that's how you're going to do lateral raises, and that's how you're going to build your shoulders, your side shoulders. The next exercise we're going to target are your upper pecs, aka your upper chest, the pectoralis major. This is what's going to give you that nice aesthetic, rounded chest look. Way you target your upper chest is by doing the way you target your upper chest, the way you target your upper chest, if you're in the gym, is by doing an incline dumbbell press. Get a bench, put it 2 notches up at an incline, get the dumbbell weights, make sure your elbows are up halfway, and as you're pushing the dumbbells up, make sure you are putting the dumbbells together. And make sure the weight is relatively heavy for you. The other exercise that you can do to target your upper chest is by doing decline push-ups. This mimics the incline of a dumbbell press, And these two exercises are the exercises to build an upper chest. So when you're doing your decline push-up, make sure you have an elevated surface so making sure that you're at a decline, hence the name decline push-up, and make sure that your shoulder blades are back and your elbows are halfway. And as you're pushing up, do not do this with your scapula. No. Your full range of motion is just this. That's how you're going to keep your upper chest in motion and working your upper chest. And it also works your lower chest as well, which is really nice. So make sure your shoulders are back when you're doing this exercise and make sure to go really slow. The next exercise that we're going to talk about are your biceps. A lot of guys say, just train your triceps and your triceps will look big. You're just being smart asses. Have a push day and you'll notice that after your push day, your arms kind of look fat with your triceps. Do a pull day and you look fucking awesome. That's because your biceps have had a great pump. So the way you target your biceps is just basically doing fucking either bicep curls. You can do this with a backpack, just fill it up with some heavy shit. And that's it. Literally just do bicep curls. The curl that I recommend doing is doing hammer curls. It works your brachialis and your brachioradialis, which is responsible for making your arms look thicker. But at the end of the day, you just do an exercise that you feel that gives your bicep the best bump. But I feel like the best bang for your buck is doing hammer curls. Or if you're at the gym, do cable curls. The next exercise that we're going to talk about are your abs. Abs are the most notorious muscle for building an aesthetic physique, and don't overlook this exercise. It is just like any other muscle. It needs to be worked in order for it to be revealed. You going on a cut is not enough. Don't listen to all the fucking faggots on YouTube that's saying, you don't need to train abs to get abs. Shut the fuck up. We just care about looking good, and you got to train your abs in order for them to look good. That's like me saying, by me doing bent over rows and pull-ups, I can build biceps. No. You build your biceps by doing direct training, pussy. So make sure you're adding direct training to your abs to get that added advantage. And most fitness models, I'm telling you, they all do ab exercises. Don't listen to any of these motherfuckers. And there's only one exercise that you need to do. Well, two, but if I had to choose one of the two, would be this exercise. It's the lying ab raise. The lying ab raise works your entire abdominal region and it works your lower abs. And the way it works your lower abs is because for you to work your lower abs, it's to have your legs in a curling motion toward your abs. Lying leg raise adds this perfectly. So make sure when you're performing this exercise, you push your lower back down, push your butt forward, have your knees slightly bent, and use your abs to push your legs up and go slow in the downward motion and keep it a couple inches off of the floor. You do that for 3 sets for 12 reps, and it's going to work your lower abs, which is what's going to give you that aesthetic look. The next exercise with abs, if you want to work your upper abs, are cable crunches. Basically, you pick a relatively high weight for this exercise. Pretty heavy, not too heavy. You get the rope attachment, put it over your head, crunch your abs in, and as you're going down, use your abs to crunch. And you're facing away from the machine. Just do that for 10, 12 reps. You'll be good. And do that for 3 sets. The next exercise, the exercise that is very overlooked, it's almost as overlooked, maybe even more overlooked than training neck, because awareness of the essentialness of building a thick neck, it has been increasing over the past few years. So the exercise that a lot of guys neglect are your forearms. The way you build your forearms is by either doing hammer curls. No. The way you build your forearms is by doing movements that target your brachioradialis, your brachialis, and this muscle here, the peanut muscle, that makes it, see, it kind of looks like a peanut. The way you target these muscles are, in order to target your brachioradialis, which is the muscle here, and your brachialis, which is somewhere here, which is responsible for giving you that wide bicep look, is by doing hammer curls. You get your bang for buck for just one, and it's my opinion the best curling variation that you can add to your routine. So make sure to add hammer curls. Have a relatively heavy weight for you, just heavy enough for you to perform with good form, but you can feel that it's heavy. So add hammer curls. It's going to work your brachioradialis and your brachialis. Next exercise to target this muscle here, I'm not sure what the name is by doing wrist curls. Any wrist curl variation, I just recommend doing the overhand and the underhand grip. You can use a barbell or you can use dumbbells, up to you. Make sure the weight is not too heavy because we're going to be doing this for relatively high reps. For your hammer curls, you're going to want to stick with 10 reps, 10 to 12 reps, 3 sets. Make sure it's relatively heavy and make sure you're using your biceps and your forearms, your brachioradialis, to do all the heavy lifting. No swinging. If you're swinging, it's too heavy. And then for your wrist curls, it can be like 5 kgs, but chances are you probably won't even be able to do it with a weight. So don't ego lift, motherfucker. You'll get yourself injured by doing that. So with the barbell, so when you're doing wrist curls, don't start off with a weight. I'm assuming the motherfucker watching this video is a beginner. Make sure you just get the form right of doing your wrist curls. And you may be asking, oh, what about legs? For your legs, just do squats. If you have a gym pass, just do squats or a leg press. That targets your quads, the aesthetic part, the teardrop muscle. And yeah, make sure to also train your glutes. I know I said there was 7 aesthetic muscles, but we'll just cover the legs quickly. Train your glutes by either doing hip abductor exercise, or doing lying hip thrusts. And yeah, also make sure to train your quads. That's pretty simple. You just do calf raises. And you can progressively overload this by adding dumbbells or going on that calf raise machine where you can put the weight in like that, in that machine thingy. So that's it for today's video. And those are the muscles. Those are the 7 aesthetic muscles plus the leg muscles to build a well-rounded aesthetic physique that attracts girls and gains your respect from men. If you want routines that apply all of these muscles, the aesthetic muscles that help you build an aesthetic physique that has in-depth exercise explanations, literally everything you could ask for in one program, from, like I said, routines that prioritize aesthetics that can be done at home or at the gym, diet principles to help you get lean and muscular, to help you build lean muscle, and a community of like-minded men, because brotherhood is very important, plus a bonus module that helps you take sexy, attractive photos where girls are literally thirsting after you, and will literally like increase your matches on dating apps like Tinder, help you gain more attraction on your Instagram. Click the top link in the description box down below. I've released a aesthetic bodybuilders program, and I think it'd be in your best interest to do so. And the price that it's going for right now is a complete absolute fucking steal. And I don't want you to miss out. Click the top link in the description box down below and secure your spot now. Also, make sure to follow my Instagram at Craig Sarnath, top link in the description box down below. And that's it for today's video. God bless. Wow.